A message for my young people.
Go.
Having the last word is a responsibility, not a right or entitlement. Let me let you know what I understand first. What I understand is you're at a point right now where you're out in the world, you're stretching your legs, you're seeing things, you're hearing things. Most of the world is in your hands sometimes. And that's not a knock, that's just the reality of how you guys consume information. However, there's a stark difference between information and application. And because customarily a lot of you do lack application, it does you well sometimes to just use the two ears more than the one mouth. And I'm not saying that in a condescending fashion. I'm saying it because that's the best way to learn. I grew up a quiet kid. I would often be quiet on purpose around people who I knew talked a lot or had information that I might be interested in. I would sit with them silently, doing the little errands that they needed me to do. But yet I was always receiving information. So again, I'm not saying that the voice you guys are now developing isn't valued in this space, because it is. But there is a time and place for it, just like there's a time and place for my voice. I don't always have to speak into your situations. Sometimes I just have to know that you handled it as best you can at the age that you are, and it was suitable for both sides. I have to understand that as a parent if I'm trusting you with the information that we're giving you to go out into the world. I understand that. In saying the things that I understood, I need you to understand a couple of things. There are times where you speak out of your weight class, and you shouldn't, because you get mad when you feel like your point isn't being received. That's because at this point in time, your point isn't valid. It doesn't even play into the decisions that are being made. You're just speaking against the wall, and you don't know that because maybe somebody never did checkpoints with you. Maybe somebody never set a boundary. You guys always talk about boundaries. We have boundaries too. There are ways in which we could speak them that are more amicable for you. But I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes that's not how our temperament works, just like how your temperament doesn't work that way, which makes you always want to have the last word when you think you have the opportunity. I want to revisit some words I just said. When you think you have the opportunity, because what you think and what is are often two different things. And again, this is just me giving counsel. I'm not condemning you. Don't mistake my tone. But you need to understand that before you start to argue with your parents about stuff, because you're having needless conflict when you should just understand that you're in a position right now where you should arrive as a student. Because there are times in our relationship with you where we will have to arrive to you as a student as we seek to learn you better. It's only fair, because equality is what you want, yes? The biggest part of equality is diplomacy. Diplomacy is understanding the wheres and whens. And that's what you guys lack in application, because you have a wealth of information at your disposal. However, because you're taking in so much information, you rarely make time to stop to be taught application. And when someone does, you see it as confrontation. Are you following me? Like, I really want to make it my business to be understood in a moment like this, because this is important, not only in your growth and development socially, cognitively, relationally, communicatively with your parents. I'm seeking to arm you with the tools to have the translation barrier be that much thinner, because you guys speak the same language. It's just the dialects in which you're speaking, you're misunderstanding. That's truly all it is. At the core, in its most micro level, that's where it begins. The quality of the communication between the child and their parent. And that often needs to begin at, you don't need to have the last word. You need to hear me right now. It doesn't often get translated that way. In a perfect world, it would. because we seek to teach you guys temperance in conversations. One thing I'm thankful for is I taught my child temperance in conversation. I told her flat out, there's never any need to fly off the handle. You listen first to what's being said, find where you're miscommunicating, speak into that. And at her age, she does that well. It's difficult. I'm not saying it like it's easy. I'm only saying it like it's easy because I've been practicing it for a long time. It was a defense mechanism to not raise my voice and be heard because people always wanted to shout at me, to incite me into some sort of physical exchange because I was a smaller guy. I didn't fall for that. I'm going to keep talking reasonably to you. So if you hit me, you look stupid. They would often dismiss me as tall. Shut up, man. And just walk away. I'm like, dodged another one. But it began at me not feeling entitled to having the last word. Because I knew in that day, you just didn't. You just listened. And you were always better for it, actually. As a kid, most often than not, when I didn't listen to my mom, I got hurt. Physically, emotionally, academically, truly. So please, it would do you well in your relationship with your parents to just take time to listen. That's all I'm asking. For more content like this, be sure to like, follow, and hit that notification bell so y'all can stay updated on what I'm doing. The Real Wayne Stephen. Yes, sir.